Meleg is an indie house based in Vancouver owned by self-taught eponymous perfumer Matthew Meleg. I'll link to one or two places you can find his lavish fragrances below. Most of his fragrances are reminiscent of French vintage style perfumes, but the one I'm going to share with you today definitely has more of a modern appeal. Stay on the line, darlings. This one is a gem. Hello, beautiful people. It's Scent Gourmand, and welcome back to my channel. So it's likely that you've not heard of Meleg Handmade Perfumes unless you're a Canadian like myself, eh? And even then, this house is ultra niche, ultra indie. None of Meleg's perfumes claim to be IFA compliant. The International Fragrance Association does not look fondly upon those who use goodies such as real oak moss, civet, or musk. Matthew, however, insists his no-go components are all ethically sourced. As you can imagine, the likelihood of his perfume smelling divine and beautifully complex is high, as are, unsurprisingly, the prices he charges for his fragrances. Each 50 ml bottle, beautifully packaged, goes for over $200, sometimes reaching closer to $500 Canadian dollars. But you know, in the space that's now with inflation, that's not that bad anymore. And as you know, if you're a small business, your margins are not typically good, so there's not much of a choice regarding pricing, I think. Anyway, here's the one I have. Very cherry rose chocolate patchouli. The name of the fragrance speaks to every note in it, bar one. Can you remember what I didn't say? I guess the lychee, yes, lychee, in here serves to add a dash of fresh, syrupy sweetness, but I can't identify it as lychee, to be honest. I love every single ingredient in here, or note I should say, and adore not only the way the notes all smell together, but the way the fragrance smells on my skin. I wouldn't say it's a beast mode type of scent, at least after the first 10 minutes, but I can still smell it on my skin at the end of the day. Interestingly, I enjoy spraying this one on before I go to bed because it sticks to my skin all night and I love waking up to that delicious smell in the morning. Apparently, like many in Meleg's lineup, this is resinous, potent, and bold. I bought this fragrance a couple of summers ago on a trip back to visit my family in Canada. I don't recall exactly where I purchased it, but it wasn't directly through the Meleg website. I think it might have been through an online peer-to-peer market of some sort. Obviously not one that I use here in Japan. Now, I've been stalking Matthew Meleg's goodies for quite some time now. I was intrigued by his use of authentic ingredients. This particular scent does not have any oak moss or animalic notes, but it's always been the one that most attracted me due to the cherry, rose, and chocolate. This does not disappoint. The packaging is supreme. Meleg's bottles come in these wooden boxes packaged with hay-like material like a bottle of whiskey. I've since tossed the hay out of this box and have been using it to store some tarot cards. And sadly, I placed this leaky bottle of white Imperial on top of it, remember that? And it just, stained the top of my box, but I still like it. And just look at the details on this bottle here. This particular one is from January 9th, 2021. He even has a barcode here. But what's really impressive, of course, is what's inside the bottle. Even though there are only 5 notes, this fragrance smells rich, sensuous, and delicious. It was a blind buy, but was love at first sniff for me. It's like cherry brandy chocolates, Now, things this fragrance is not are delicate, refined, clean, gentle, light, and refreshing. This is sensual and sexy, but in a very beastly, raw sort of way. It's hot and dirty. It's hair-pulling interactions with a stranger you meet in a pub. There's no tender or soft foreplay here, although it feels really smooth right now. In general, though, this is rough stuff. It's linear and so earthy. You're tumbling with your partner in the soil with all those roses, licking the chocolate off each other's skin and sipping on lychee juice between sweaty kisses. feeding each other dark and fleshy pitted cherries. Ooh la la. Mm. I can't think of any other particular scent this reminds me of, but if you like jammy rose gourmand fragrances, this might be for you. The fragrances I know that I put in the same ballpark just off the top of my head are Rose Anonyme by Atelier Cologne, Terra Mia by Cartusia, Intense Café by Montal, or The Flanker by Zara Rose Gourmand. The difference here is that there's a very earthy and raw patchouli in the mix. Obviously, if you don't like patchouli, this is probably not going to be for you. But really, in this fragrance, how can you not like patchouli? And Matthew, if you ever see this, hi there, fellow Canuck who has spent time in Japan. Drop me a line if you ever come back, and feel free to send me some samples of your other concoctions to review. Gimme. I'll be grateful. Okay, fellow fume heads, I do hope you enjoyed the review. Do like and subscribe and all that jazz. This is Scent Gourmand signing off. I shall smell you later, my lovelies. Bye-bye.